Day and first day of spring, and I know the Catholics already mentioned that it is an auspicious day, and I hope better times ahead for everyone as we enter the month of February. Could I also, Leader, express my serious concern at the events in Myanmar or Burma that have just unfolded in the last 24 hours with the military coup, and ask you, Leader, to make representations to our Minister Simon Coveney, Minister for Foreign Affairs, to express Ireland's concern and to seek to take any steps we can through the EU and otherwise to ensure that democracy is respected in Myanmar and that we don't see a return to military rule as appears likely now, unfortunately. Could I also, Leader, just ask for a debate on zero COVID in this House? And I note that today at 1:30 the Independent Scientific Advisory Group are launching a people's campaign for zero COVID, and the case has been very eloquently made by some of my Trinity colleagues, including Professors Tomás Ryan and Aoife McLysaght, who've called for a very clear strategy of crush, contain and chase. They've set out very clearly how it can be done. We all know the examples in other countries, and public support for stricter measures is clearly evident, as we saw from the Sunday Business Post poll yesterday. My own party leader, Deputy Alan Kelly, last week put forward Labour's plan, an aggressive suppression strategy, a national aggressive suppression strategy, incorporating many of the elements of a zero COVID strategy, and addressing the issues that government spokespeople keep raising about the lack of practicality of a zero COVID strategy. I think people are increasingly frustrated by hearing government spokespeople saying it's not practical to have zero COVID. Why is it not practical to implement an aggressive suppression strategy, and yet practical to keep us in rolling lockdowns, keep people confined within 5 kilometres from home, deny children the right to return to school, deny even children with additional needs the right to school? Why is that more practical than the sort of active border management measures that Deputy Kelly put forward, and indeed some of which have now been taken up by the government? And can I just say, things have changed very rapidly. I think all of us are now very conscious that the vaccination, and I didn't interrupt any government spokespeople, and I don't. I'm courteous in this House, and I would ask people for similar respect from others. Could I ask for similar respect from others?
Can I just point out, Senator, if you want to interrupt, you have to ask permission. Okay? You have to ask permission through the chair. Through the chair. As I was saying, you must follow the standing order. Sorry, Senator.
As I was saying, we all are conscious now that there are going to be a much more delayed vaccine rollout this year than we had anticipated, that we see new and dangerous variants coming in, and that the case has become much stronger over the last month as we've seen those extraordinary and deeply devastating levels of COVID transmission. The case has become much stronger for an aggressive suppression strategy. The concern, I think, that many of us in this country, indeed most people in this country have, is the absence of any clarity from government as to what the alternative is if they are not to embrace zero COVID or aggressive suppression. What is the government strategy beyond 5th March? What is the government strategy for managing or suppressing COVID until we see full vaccination? Not likely now, we know, until much later this year than we had hoped. So I'm asking you, Leader, for a debate on government strategy and specifically on zero COVID or aggressive suppression strategies. And could I finally, Leader, just mention the issue of childcare in particular? We know the childcare sector has been valiantly remaining open in the last few weeks for children of essential workers, childcare workers really at the front line now. SIP2's Big Start campaign publishing groundbreaking research last week showing just how deeply concerning it is for many workers in the childcare sector to be facing daily risk and yet to receive such poor pay levels generally, lack of access to sick pay and so on. So I'm asking you, Leader, for a debate on childcare at a time of COVID.
Senator Patrick, and because you were interrupted, I allowed you more time. Minister,
thank you, Cathaoirleach, and indeed happy